So our final topic for the show
Swish,
is going to be surrounding
swish,
Nike's deal, which is their 30th anniversary of Just Do It, I
Just
believe.
do it.
They have selected one Colin Kaepernick, too much controversy, as their poster boy for this marketing campaign. So obviously there's a lot of people that are happy with this, and people who support him, and the whole so basically this has lit a fire underneath the whole kneeling during the national anthem debate. Again, we're back.
Hello.
So what do you think of Nike's move?
Well, from what I've learned, I think it's up until recently, Nike has been the leader in the market, or in that specific market, over Adidas for a long time, and it wasn't until recently until Adidas actually has jumped over them. Whereas, what that said, I don't think it's gonna be, from what I'm hearing and what I've heard, and I haven't done the research yet on it, but apparently it looks like Nike might lose 30% of sales are predicted out of this, and I would say probably I would be generous and drop that down to probably a quarter, maybe 25%, 20% of it will probably go down, which I don't think is going to be good for them. I think you're going to get I'm just looking at a sales or capitalistic kind of view, or marketing kind of view. I think they're going to lose that market in a way, and it's not. I don't know if it's going to be good. I think they're going to get a little boost in whenever Trump reacts to it, and people that don't like Trump, they want to go against them, so they're going to go buy Nikes.
Right. Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with it, but for me, looking at it, I'm I don't think it was a good business move. Looking at it from that kind of perspective, and the way Adidas has been marketing themselves and been able to recently, I don't know. I've had these pair of Adidas for a while now, and I'm an Adidas guy now because the next pair of shoes I'm going to get.
You're
is
an Adidas guy.
It's not that I don't like Nike. I never. The only time I ever wore Nike stuff was the old shirts I used to wear in high school, but that was just because I was in football.
Yeah.
And my football cleats. That was it. That was the only Nike kind of association I ever had. But I've always liked Adidas. I've had Adidas cleats in the past, and I've always liked them.
Yeah.
But me, now, personally, I just I never was attracted to Nike in the first place. So to set up to what I'm going to say for the next thing is, it's a thing that shouldn't be a thing, but it's a thing, and then it's a thing. I don't think Colin Kaepernick personally knows what he's talking about. I think he is able to translate a message that emotionally attracts people to that message, but I don't think it's the right message. I don't think it's the message that's gonna change things for the better. If anything, I don't for me. I don't understand why people are saying I guess what the rhetoric with Trump and whatnot over this, but that kind of division kind of word has kind of sparked around his kind of start of all this. And not to be a dick to all the players, but when they say Trump is the person that divides us, I'm when I really look at it realistically in my head, I'm I don't know. I feel it was all Kaepernick's kind of actions that kind of really just divided things, or kind of started that whatever division in that just internet talk.
Yeah, what I would say,
I don't think it's an actual division in every day. Yesterday I was hanging out with a bunch of people that probably don't even have my political views, but we have a good time because we like the same music.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in that division and what people. I think it's division lives on the internet, not in real life.
What I would say about the division thing, just real quick, is that Trump did not originate the division, but he certainly drove a wedge into it.
Yeah.
One more thing before we get too far down this that I left out. That I should have brought up in the beginning. There's a slogan. It's not just the the just do it thing. So there's a phrase that comes before that, and that's what it says. So it says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. And then it's a picture of Colin Kaepernick, and it says, just do it. So I think like there's like that to me is perhaps even more controversial, because in no way, shape, or form do I believe that Colin Kaepernick has sacrificed everything. Like they're the people that, in my opinion, are being disrespected by the kneeling for the anthem and for the flag. Like those are people that have sacrificed everything. Like there's been, so obviously this has been like a very memeable thing of like pictures of Thanos and like, you know, like sacrificing everything, like just do it and like stuff like that. But the one that sticks out to me was like a picture of Pat Tillman. And like him, like he like left his NFL career to go serve in the military and then was killed.
It wasn't like just like a regular like.
It was friendly fire too. Wasn't
No, I'm talking about like his NFL. It wasn't just like he was like a top defenseman at the time. Like he was very much like but like whatever, you know, September 11th happened, drove him to do all that stuff, which is pretty big. And I think he, from what I remember, I don't think he opted out his last. I think his contract came up and then he just joined the service. Right.
Yeah, but like he could have stayed and like just like continue making money.
Yeah.
And like Colin Kaepernick like adopted into wealth, given everything that he ever needed, and then like is a, for a time anyway, successful and like financially successful quarterback in the NFL.
I don't.
So starts kneeling, like had a good basically like 6 months with the Niners. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then
like lost his starting job. Turned down an offer from the Broncos, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because Elway I'm not sure if like Elway did that just to, you know, make him look bad, but yeah. I mean, he had.
And then there was talk about the like him joining the Ravens, and then like his wife had like a whole series of tweets or whatever, and then like that fell apart. So like, in no way do I believe that Colin Kaepernick has really sacrificed anything, especially now that he's printing money with Nike. And then so this has driven people to like cut their socks apart and like burn their Nike, put all their Nike stuff in a pile and burn it, and like that sort of thing. If you want to do that, cool. I understand. I guess for some people it's a matter of principle, but like you already gave Nike your money, so they don't really care.
I was like, am I wearing anything?
I don't have tennis shoes on, but the tennis shoes that I wear normally are Nikes.
Are you not gonna burn those?
I'm not gonna burn them. No.
Like, they're comfortable as hell, dude. I fucking love the shoes.
As far as like them. So, like, to me, like, that's the most egregious thing is, like, the slogan that goes with it, like, believe in something even if it means sacrifice everything. Like, Colin Kaepernick didn't sacrifice anything. He was not going to he was not in a position where he was going to further his NFL career.
Yeah, he was at, like, what a lot of people say with the end of the road. Eventually he would have been a backup
no more than a backup.
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, he had the good 6 months, kind of just took over because Alex Smith got hurt, and then he came back. He came in and just, like, Harbaugh just like liked him.
Yeah.
Very much like it's just a mobile quarterback that really doesn't have much to him and was figured out just like a Vince Young or like a Michael Vick in a way. But even though Michael Vick was a little bit more effective because he was a lot more mobile.
Yeah.
But Russell Wilson's a different type, and he's more of a top tier quarterback for me. But yeah, looking at it like when people make the argument like he can start, I was like, no, he can be on a team. I would say maybe, but
he could start for the Cleveland Browns.
Like for me, personally, if I was a head coach or whatnot, it's not that I don't. Like if he can contribute, but he's not going to contribute at a starting level. He's going to contribute as a backup.
And the ratio at this point of like distraction to contribution is not worth it.
Yeah, because all you're going to get in not the locker room. Like I don't think the locker room would be as much as effective as you would think. I think it's the press conference that would be the stupid questions that are just consistently asked about just things are not even like asked about the game. Like they're not even talking about the game anymore sometimes in those press conferences.
Yeah. Or there'll be like pressure on the coach like why isn't he starting?
Yeah.
It's like, well, he's not the best quarterback we have. I was like, you're crazy. I was like, no. I'm the head coach.
Yeah, and like that's another thing. Like that would be the distraction. It's not going to be a locker room it's going to be the press conference, like the media distraction.
Yeah.
And that I wouldn't pick him up, even if like say I have like a questionable starting quarterback with a decent bag. I wouldn't. I don't want, not that there's baggage, but like you just don't want to have to like answer those questions. Like you don't want to be have that beaten down on you. It's like then you're the guy that signed Kaepernick and never played him, or you played, or you know what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
it's just like it's not necessary. I mean, look at Johnny Manziel. He's playing in the CFL. He's doing it his own way. I think it was a way to put attention on Kaepernick in a way, because his career, like I said, was not going anywhere, and he couldn't even start for the Niners over Blaine Gabbert. So it's like, if you can't even start over Blaine Gabbert, come on, there's a problem here. But yeah, I mean, I I don't like the comparison too of him and Muhammad Ali. I think those
Yeah,
are
I don't either.
two different. They're not even in the same like
And Muhammad Ali was, to
like
my knowledge anyway,
like the
was never
same
sponsored
realm.
by like a major
Yeah.
corporation to like continue doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was like a black
Well,
sheep.
they didn't really have. It wasn't the corporate or a sponsorship like that never really existed the way it is today.
Okay, yeah, that's probably true. It's fair enough.
But like what Muhammad Ali did, it was like at the time it fit everything, and it also was something that needed to kind of be said. But I think it was not just, from my argument, from what I've seen and what I've read about the Vietnam War, it's more or less on the lower class, not just the population of African Americans. I think there's other, there's dudes from the middle of the country that were just as poor as black people that were getting sent over there. There's Hispanics that were just as poor that got sent over just because of the draft. That's how it worked.
Yeah.
And I think the messages shouldn't just be like it's not that Black Lives Matter or whatnot, which I think a lot of their stuff is, from what I've heard, is not very correct. But I understand why they're frustrated. I understand why they don't want these things. I don't want these things to happen. But I think there has to be, Colin Kaepernick needs, and just that kind of education of what happens in the real world, which isn't.
Well, I just don't think that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's just like it's not translated well for me. Like I remember, it goes back to like police brutality. It's plain and simple on what needs to be taught to young individuals, black, Hispanic, white, that when a police officer stops you, just don't give them trouble. That's it. They don't want like, it's not that they don't want to be there or have to stop you, but they don't want to do that. Why the hell they want to just be able to go along their day, go home and see their family, and then do it the next day. And, protect someone in case something bad happens, right? Because that's what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to, do these things, even though some of them, get a little carried away. But, like, think about it like this. When you're, I'm going a little bit away from the conversation, but that's just more towards what the cause of everything is. And think about this. When you're, like, say you work at Walmart, or you have like a job similar to that, you have customers come and go, and like you have like the rude customer, and like, dude, you want to punch that guy in the face, and like, yes, some people at Walmart will punch that person in the face, and like, we're all humans, we all tick. It's not, I don't think it's the best excuse, but I think if you don't understand that, then it doesn't make the situation better. And I think it's just a thing from what I've, I read Thomas Sowell, and I believe a lot of that stuff is factual, which he has a lot of it to be backed up on. But, I don't think people are educated in that way. And I mean, online on Facebook, I've had cousins, I've had people on there, just, there's instances where, yes, like what happens is bad, but also we need to look at good situations too. We can't just like look at the bad. We can't just put the microscope on all the bad, which isn't that big in the first place, and watch the cop that helped out the guy that shaved for his job interview, like stuff like that. And like for me, like, it's not that I don't like cops or anything like that. I thank them. I appreciate that they're there, but it's all like, I don't have like any kind of grudges or anything like that. Like whenever I get stopped, I'm not even gonna like try anything or whatnot. I'm always asking, hey, can I reach or for this in my pocket for my phone or something like that, and like they'll say yes. I'm okay, because I want to make them more comfortable than I am, because I'm pro Second Amendment, but I am terrified of guns. And like Josh has asked me, Brandon has asked me, hey dude, you want to go to the firing range? My dad's asked me, my brother, but I'm like, no, I don't want to be around a gun. Like I know I should probably have in the future, or maybe should be able to learn how to use a firearm, but like I'm not like, it's like frightening to be around a cop, not because he's a cop, because he has a gun on him, because humans are humans. And what happens if like some weird instance where his wife calls him and like, I'm leaving you or something like that, and he gets pissed off or something like that. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but you don't know.
Shoots the guy that he pulls over because his wife leaves him.
Yeah, I don't know, but like that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's interesting. Just I think what we should be talking about is finding a solution and not this BS of Colin Kaepernick being, this praised as this person that sacrificed nothing. And we should really be looking to educate the coming generations and the current generation on what not to do. I think police officers should have, if we are able to do that, police officers should be more comfortable to do that, to do their job. I don't, like I said, like, I don't want to make someone's job harder than what it is when it should be. Like, that's not what it's like. That's what I think about it. And I don't think a lot of people do think about it. They're like, oh, why is this cop, like, curse word, pulling me over? I'm having a bad day. I'm like, yeah, you're having a bad day, but take a deep breath, get this over with and move on. If you have something bad in your car that you're not supposed to have, then that's your fault. Simple as that. I don't know.
I think that
I ranted, sorry.
From the standpoint of like why they're kneeling, they're like, oh, it was never about the flag or like anything about that. Is like, and we've talked about this before, I think, but like I'll quickly reiterate. I understand that they're not kneeling, or like that their intention perhaps is not to disrespect the flag, but in kneeling they are disrespecting the flag. Yeah. And this especially is even more relevant to me with the whole like believe in something even if it means sacrificing it. Like that phrase now in conjunction with them kneeling for the flag, like no one on that field has sacrificed everything.
Yeah. Even when you look at it too, it's like I don't understand why people say, oh wait, they have the right to protest or da 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 da. Well, I'm like, well, people have the right to criticize them for their protest. Mm-hmm. And if you can't understand that like it goes both ways, then you might want to read a book or two, or educate yourself on that.
Yeah, I would also say that
be able to take the criticism.
I would also say that the statistics don't support their opinion in most of the cases. Obviously, there are individual cases of terrible people, sometimes racist people, racist police officers that do terrible things, and that's what you see when you turn on CNN and NBC and like the news. But like on the whole, the statistics don't support them. Even in like police shootings, the statistics don't support like the opinions that they have. It's kind of, this conversation now has been kind of dry. I almost thought we were past it. Obviously there was some controversy a couple months ago when the NFL said that like they weren't going to allow like you could stay in the locker room or you had to come out and stand. Like there was like a league-wide policy.
I got a big conversation.
I don't care.
Not too long ago
like
this,
there's like sure you have freedom of speech. Your employer has some control over what that speech is. You have like if I was owner of an NFL team and say like Colin Kaepernick was on my, like before this whole kneeling thing started, and like Colin Kaepernick was on my team, there's like a press conference after every game. Like if he like answered a minimum number of questions regarding the game and he wanted to spend a little bit of time and talk about something that was significant to him, like go for it. Like, cause all of these people have access to a much greater platform than like any of us ever will. Like having that sort of like national, basically like they have a national broadcast every day to like speak their mind if they so choose. Yeah. And so like if they want to use it in that way, fine. Like sure. I don't know that I would really care. But you also, like you said, like have to be willing to take the criticism for what you say, and like people to critique your opinions and your points of view and criticize you and present data and facts that might be counter to what you believe.
This even goes back to like when I was talking about like Braun not too long ago on like a chat thing in Facebook, and then like I was like, I was criticizing LeBron what he was saying, and someone was like, well, what right do you have, or not, like what expertise do you have in like politics that makes you say that LeBron doesn't know what he's talking about? I'm like, I don't have to have an expertise. It's my opinion, and I told you what I said, and I had facts behind it. If you don't like it, then that's too bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. I was like, it even goes back to like even David Hogg being like criticized about his politics, and then how, he was somewhat being babied, and then someone says something bad about him, and then they try to bury that person. It's like, you can't handle being criticized and being hated or whatever you want to call it, then maybe you shouldn't be talking in the first place, or maybe you need to compose yourself to be able to handle that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's a combination of that, but also it's like all this mumbo jumbo BS stuff is just not solving any problems. We're not looking at what needs to be fixed or what needs to be done. And that's like my main issue in the sense of all this is like nothing's gonna get done out of any
People
of
are
this.
just going to be yelling at each other from like over the fence.
Yeah, and it's
That's
on the internet, and it's not like none of this is real. It feels like, it's on the internet, but it's not real because nothing's happening. Nothing will happen out of this. Black Lives Matter won't get any support out of this. The other side will be criticized for not caring or being a dick. So it's like nothing's gonna get done.
Everyone's already picked in this particular manner. Like, kind of just close it out here. Like, everyone's already picked their side. Like, because we've already been through all this. Like, when it was actually happening, and then like a year later when it was like, oh well, Colin Kaepernick's getting blackballed by the NFL, and like there's a lawsuit right now going that like he filed against the NFL for like, I guess, discrimination or like wrongful termination or like something like that. So it's just like people have already like the stake is already in the ground. Like people have already picked their sides. So like this doesn't really change anything one way or the other. For me personally, like the slogan that they chose to add it like makes it a little more egregious than it would have been if it was like just Colin Kaepernick as like their marketing thing. But yeah, I'm sure that people will continue to yell at each other on social media for the next couple weeks, and then something else will happen, and we'll kind of move on again until the NFL does something stupid and brings it back up, or Trump continues to tweet about it, or whatever.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know if you disagree with us, because it's not that I want people to I just want to know, like, what is he sacrificing? I don't understand. What is he really sacrificing?
He's making more money, in my opinion. He's making more money now than he would have with the rest of his NFL career.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm trying to be a dick about it. It's just like, what is he like? Give me something to look at so I can comprehend what's coming from the other side. That's all I really. I don't see what's really going on that side and how it's got to that point. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah,
I don't see any correlations to what's going on. I don't know. Ugh. Good conversation, man. Good job. Good job.